SADC has without a doubt come a long way since its formation in Lusaka, Zambia in 1980. And for the past 44 years, no doubt a lot of progress has been made. One of the key success stories of SADC has been in the area of conflict resolution.
When you look at the region per se, the region is very peaceful. And peace brings development. Where there's peace, development is very, very easy. We can develop peace.
A very good morning to you, viewers. My name is Rumbi Chakanza, and welcome to this live broadcast of the SADC Transfrontier Conservation Areas International Conference and Summit that is currently taking place at HICC from the 19th of May right up until the 23rd of May 2025. Today is day 4, and we expect to see the SADC Council of Ministers having a meeting today where they get to discuss on issues to do with the conservation, of course, of biodiversity, and of course talk about tourism, ecotourism, and sustainable financing. So in today's program, we expect also to see the commemoration of International Biodiversity Day. Today is the 22nd of May, and the world celebrates International Biodiversity Day, which is also running under the theme Harmony with Nature and Sustainable Development, a theme that also speaks into the theme for this TFCA's International Conference and Summit, which is 25 years of cooperation for regional integration and sustainable development. Of course, His Excellency President Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, who is the current chairperson of SADC, will also be launching the issue of to do with the carbon markets regulation. So much will be said today. So far, day 1, day 2, and day 3 discussions were centered on natural resources, tourism, as well as the environment. And more than 500 delegates are in attendance. The heads of state and government will also be meeting tomorrow, the 23rd of May. So we shall be giving you live updates from HICC. Right now, we get to cross over to Monica Chanda to get further details.
Thank you, Rumbizai Chakanza. Quite the nippy weather from this end, but a warm welcome to our viewers at home and right across the SADC region. This is, of course, day 4 of the SADC TFCA International Conference and Summit, where we will be taking you through proceedings of what will be taking place at this very event, which is on the promotion of these conservation areas. We are looking to see the Council of Ministers meeting taking place today, with the welcome remarks being made by the chairperson of the Council of Ministers, who is Zimbabwe's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Professor Amon Murira. So he will be giving those opening remarks. Later on, they will be getting into that closed-door session as the Council of Ministers to deliberate on the issues that were, of course, presented right from day 1, this last Monday, the 19th, around these conservation issues, with the aim of that action plan for the TFCA issues, and of course that sustainability and protection of the various biodiversity issues in the SADC region. And we will be crossing over into the main auditorium to actually hear those welcome remarks as well as more issues. This is the SADC TFCA International Conference and Summit. Let's get into the main auditorium.
Members of the press, all invited guests, distinguished delegates, you are most welcome. May I now invite the Executive Secretary of SADC, His Excellency Mr. Elias Mpedi Mahosi, to deliver the introductory remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Director of Proceedings. The Honorable Professor Amon Murira, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and the chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers, Honorable Dr. Evelyn Ndlovu, the Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and the chairperson of the Joint Ministers responsible for Environment, Natural Resources, and Tourism, honorable ministers and deputy ministers here present, Ms. Patronella Nyagura, who is representing the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Ambassador Chimbindi, who is the chairperson of the Standing Committee of Senior Officials, my colleague, Ms. Ntumba, the Deputy Executive Secretary for Regional Integration, all our senior officials from member states, representatives of our international cooperating partners, as well as the transfrontier conservation areas from our region, permanent secretaries and director generals, and officials from both the Secretariat and the government of Zimbabwe, distinguished delegates, invited guests, good morning.
Good morning.
I think it's a better morning than the one yesterday. Good morning. I'm greatly honored, ministers, to address this SADC Council of Ministers meeting convened in preparation for the first ever summit or SADC Transfrontier Conservation Areas Summit of Heads of State and Government, which is scheduled for tomorrow. Let me at the onset express our gratitude to the government and the people of the Republic of Zimbabwe for hosting this meeting and for the usual warm welcome and hospitality extended to all of us, I believe, since our arrival in this beautiful city. I wish to express our profound gratitude to the chairperson of Council, Honorable Professor Murira, for his continued leadership and commitment to steer regional integration and cooperation. I wish to also thank honorable ministers who are present here for creating space from your busy schedules to attend this important meeting. This is a clear demonstration in our view of your unwavering commitment to the invaluable role that the transfrontier conservation areas, the role of transfrontier conservation areas in advancing regional integration and sustainable development. Allow me to applaud the Republic of Zimbabwe for successfully hosting the just ended two-day SADC TFCA conference, which brought together over 500 delegates and more than 30 exhibitors, including representatives from SADC member states, international cooperating partners, non-governmental organizations, academia, traditional and community leaders, as well as wildlife conservation experts. The conference set the stage for celebrations of the remarkable achievements we made in the last 25 years to advance regional conservation that has been driven largely by the TFCAs themselves. Delegates at the conference emphasized the exceptional value of the TFCAs as beacons of regional cooperation and sustainable development. And they called for stronger collaboration among stakeholders to elevate TFCAs to higher levels. Additionally, the conference underscored the need for innovative and sustainable financing mechanisms to ensure the long-term and less painful sustainability of our TFCAs. The conference also stressed that the regional conservation initiatives must remain people-centered, guaranteeing social justice, equity, and socio-economic benefit primarily for communities. It is encouraging that this week, the TFCA's conference welcomed community and traditional leaders who have been custodians of natural resources from time immemorial. To ensure the long-term success of TFCAs, communities ought to be more than participants in the conversation. They must be at the table. They must also be the primary beneficiaries and the key focus of sustainable use of natural resources. They must be part of the conversation. Honourable Ministers, today we celebrate 25 years of the TFCAs in our region, showcasing SADC's holistic approach to regional cooperation, integration, and sustainable development. The TFCAs, or SADC TFCAs, stand as a true success story, embodying our shared commitment to the sustainable conservation of our rich natural endowments that I believe we all cherish. Covering 35.5 thousand square kilometers in 1999 to now over 1 million square kilometers, the TFCAs have formed one of the largest conservation areas on the African continent and the world at large, with Khaza alone covering over 520 square kilometers. This extensive network reflects the profound impact of regional collaboration. It demonstrates the power of integrated management in preserving shared natural resources, effective collaboration of member states, as well as the shared aspiration of prosperity by all of us. The TFCA model has delivered tangible and impactful results for biodiversity conservation in our region. Through the unwavering commitment of member states and applying various strategies, the region has stabilized the population of the critically endangered African black rhino, which was once on the brink of extinction. At present, the numbers have nearly tripled, rising from just over 2,400 in 95 to approximately 6,400 today. The numbers are still small, but this is very good progress, considering where we started. This remarkable recovery highlights the effectiveness of transfrontier collaboration and integrated wildlife management. Further, the elephant populations continue to decline in many parts of Africa and the world at large. The Khaza TFCA alone now harbors over 220,000 elephants. This again underscores Khaza's pivotal role in protecting one of Africa's most iconic species. This milestone in conservation exemplifies how regional cooperation preserves biodiversity and enhances resilience and sustainability for future generations. Over the past 25 years, the TFCAs have proven to be a transformative approach in addressing conservation challenges whilst boosting socio-economic contribution of the natural resources at both national and regional levels. The concept recognizes that joint management of shared natural resources across borders fosters peace and stability, ensures sustainable conservation and utilization, and creates economic opportunities, particularly for local communities who benefit directly from the natural resources through some of these aspects: food security, nutrition, and job creation, while also strengthening livelihoods across our region. Honourable Ministers, the TFCA approach and associated initiatives are driven by the SADC TFCA program, which was first approved in 2013 and then revised in 2023 for an additional 10 years, now extending to 2033. This program serves as a strategic platform for SADC member states to collaborate in managing shared ecological resources, promoting peace and security, and advancing rural development and sustainable tourism. It remains one of the most visible and impactful expressions of regional integration within SADC. Through this initiative, the region has established 13 TFCAs, each at different stages of development, reinforcing transboundary conservation efforts once more. The TFCA program is delivered through 6 interconnected pillars, with each one critical to achieving regional conservation and sustainable development goals. They are, in summary, enhancing rural livelihoods by supporting local enterprises, benefit sharing mechanisms, and inclusive governance. Secondly, facilitating transboundary biodiversity management through harmonized legal frameworks, joint patrols, and ecosystem-based planning. The third, promoting marine transboundary conservation areas, which promote sustainable management of marine and aquatic resources for economic growth and social development. 4, implementing the SADC law enforcement and anti-poaching strategy for strengthening collaborative law enforcement, intelligence sharing, and cross-border patrols amongst member states. 5, sustainable financing of TFCAs, which calls for the adequate and innovative financing mechanisms to support the long-term sustainability of TFCAs. And 6, fostering sustainable tourism through TFCAs for maximizing economic potential. I therefore remain confident that the outcomes of this meeting will speak to the TFCA program itself and strengthen our collective resolve to protect and sustainably manage our cherished natural resources for the benefit of present and future generations. Through our shared decisions and aspirations, we can ably safeguard our planet and ensure that we pass on a more prosperous, resilient, and naturally beautiful world to the next generation, just as we inherited it. As I conclude, Honourable Ministers, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the Ministers responsible for Environment, Natural Resources and Tourism, ably led by the Minister of this Republic, Dr. Evelyn Ndlovu, the Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, who is the chairperson of the joint meeting of ministers, for their diligent efforts in preparing for your meeting today. Through their thorough and thoughtful engagement has laid a strong foundation for this Council to be adequately prepared to report effectively to our heads of state and government tomorrow. Permit me as well to express our profound, and I need to underscore this, profound gratitude to all our international cooperating partners, including especially the Federal Republic of Germany, the European Union, and the IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature, among many others, whose ongoing technical and financial support has been instrumental in advancing the region's TFCA's program and initiatives. Through their contributions, the region has achieved remarkable success in transboundary conservation, sustainable development, and in a way made regional integration a reality. Through their efforts, we have expanded, consolidated, and institutionalized TFCAs across both terrestrial and marine landscapes, and strengthening our commitment to preserve our shared natural heritage. As we celebrate the 25-year milestone, I look forward to continued collaboration and enhanced partnership in the years ahead. It is through regional cooperation that the natural wealth of Southern Africa can be best conserved and utilized for the benefit of its people. With these remarks, Honourable Ministers, it is now my honor to invite Honourable Professor Murira, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe and the Chairperson of the Council of Ministers, to deliver his remarks and officially open your meeting. I thank you for your attention. Merci beaucoup. Muito obrigado. Asante sana. Tatenda. Siyabonga.
Honorable Rafarata Vavitafika Razata, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Madagascar and incoming chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers. Honorable Tete Antonio, Minister of External Relations of the Republic of Angola and outgoing chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers. Chairperson of the Ministers of Environment and Tourism, Natural Resources, Honorable Evelyn Govu, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers here present, Your Excellency, Mr. Elias Mpedi Mahosi, SADC Executive Secretary and Deputy Executive Secretaries, Chairperson of the Standing Committee of Senior Officials, Ambassador Albert Chimbindi, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe, our international cooperating partners, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The base of our existence and the uniqueness of our existence is defined by our heritage. Our plants or flora, our fauna or animals, our water, our minerals, our people, lest we forget that all our bodies are made out of what we eat and the environment in which we live. With these words, we welcome you all to the Republic of Zimbabwe for this historic inaugural SADC Transfrontier Conservation Areas Conference and Summit. This milestone event is being held under the theme SADC Transfrontier Conservation Areas, 25 years of cooperation for regional integration and sustainable development. As we assemble here today, we are not merely celebrating the passage of time. We are renewing and reaffirming a shared vision conceived more than 2 decades ago. This vision was born from a deep conviction that the future of our region, the common future of our region, depends on our ability to leverage on our heritage in order to foster our solidarity to the development agenda that defines our common future. This was not a vision born out of convenience, but one driven by strategic foresight and strategic necessity. A vision that redefines geopolitical borders, not as rigid divides, but just as administrative boundaries, but also as bridges for cooperation, peace, and collective stewardship over our rich biodiversity. Through the collective political will of our leaders, who resolve to protect and preserve the extraordinary ecological and biodiversity treasures of our region, we are here today. From the cascading rivers of the Zambezi to the open savannas of the Limpopo region, which are not only ecological sanctuaries, but provide the lifeblood of communities, sources of identity, sustenance, and economic growth. Indeed, the Transfrontier Conservation Vision acknowledged early on what the regional community has only recently begun to grasp more fully, that environmental sustainability and environmental development are not opposing objectives, but deeply interconnected pursuits. We are the children of the sky and children of the sun. We are products of ecology. That responsible stewardship of our natural assets can serve as a powerful engine for peace building, social cohesion, and inclusive growth. They are indeed a source of our economic well-being and social well-being. Today, as we commemorate 25 years of groundbreaking cooperation under the SADC Transfrontier Conservation Areas framework, we pay tribute to the many actors, community leaders, conservationists, field rangers, scientists, researchers, and the citizens themselves who have contributed tirelessly to the realization of this noble endeavor. This is our legacy. Southern Africa is home to a rich biodiversity. It's not by coincidence, it's by construction. We made it. This is our legacy. The Transfrontier Conservation Areas Program stands as a monument to regional solidarity in action. It is a testament to what can be accomplished when nations unite in purpose and vision for a common well-being. When we choose collaboration over competition and sustainability over short-term gains, this is a long game. It's not a short game. It tells a story of ecosystems restored, ecosystems managed, ecosystems sustained, livelihoods transformed, and borders reimagined as conduits for prosperity and peace. It is a legacy we are duty-bound to safeguard and to strengthen. Distinguished delegates, we are honored to host this summit, a reflection of our steadfast commitment to the regional agenda, regional integration agenda, regional agenda for sustainable development and environmental cooperation. It also underscores our alignment with Zimbabwe's national aspirations articulated in Vision 2030, in which we seek to attain an upper middle income status through a diversified and resilient economy underpinned by innovation, environmental responsibility, and community empowerment. A society is as strong as its weakest member. The Transfrontier Conservation Areas Framework complements our strategies in ecotourism, climate resilience, and rural development, and contributes meaningfully to our national goals of equity and shared prosperity. Let us be reminded that transfrontier conservation areas are catalysts for transboundary collaboration that strengthens political and environmental diplomacy, community empowerment through mechanisms that support benefit sharing, sustainable livelihoods, and cultural preservation, climate resilience through the protection of critical habitats and the maintenance of biodiversity corridors, and enhanced regional peace and security through joint governance models, shared enforcement efforts, and inclusive stakeholder engagement, and stand as irrefutable evidence that environmental integrity and economic development are not competing goals, but are mutually reinforcing imperatives. We are children of the sky, children of the soil, children of the sun, children of ecology, and we cannot be divorced from it. As we reflect on the journey of the past 25 years, we must also look forward with renewed resolve. The next chapter demands bold action, coordinated strategy, and unwavering political will. In this regard, we must commit to reinforcing institutional frameworks and governance structures to enhance efficiency, accountability, securing sustainable financing, including innovative public-private partnerships and green investment. Furthermore, we must commit to deepening the inclusion of local communities, ensuring that they are not just beneficiaries, but equal partners, owners in conservation and development. It's for whom we work, it's for whom we toil, is for whom we have structures. And mainstreaming the Transfrontier Conservation Areas agenda into broader regional frameworks for food security, climate action, youth empowerment, and disaster preparedness. Ladies and gentlemen, as custodians of this regional strategic vision, we, the political leadership of the SADC region, bear the solemn responsibility to protect our natural heritage, our God-given heritage, promote peace and integration, and deliver development that is inclusive, just, and enduring. The choices we make today will reverberate far beyond our borders and long into the future. So we must make our decisions knowing very well that they will be judged by the future. So we must play a long, sustainable game. We must never play a short game, a me game, a now game, but a future game. Let this inaugural summit be remembered not only as a celebration of what we have achieved, but as a resounding commitment to what we must still accomplish. A moment where we, as one region, stood together and said yes to the transboundary conservation, yes to cooperation and integration, and yes to sustainable development for current and future generations. Together, let us continue this journey with unity of purpose, bold determination, courage, and an enduring commitment to the betterment of our people. We are as strong as our weakest member of society. The preservation of our environment and our shared destiny. We are flesh of the sun, flesh of the sky. We are a product of our heritage. We are a product of our environment. We are a product of our environment. I thank you, Tatenda, Siabonga, muito obrigado, asante sana, merci beaucoup. Twalumba.
Thank you, Honorable Ministers, Minister Professor Amon Muira, for that very powerful statement, remarks in welcoming us, and also for the remarks from the Executive Secretary of SADC, His Excellency Mr. Elias Mahosi. We got highlights on really the relevance, the importance, and the value of TFCAs in our region, that TFCAs facilitate for nature to coordinate with our communities, and also that they are catalysts for regional integration, peace promoting within our region, and sustainable development. We will make those remarks available. And at this point, we're just going to watch a short video which also demonstrates the milestones, successes, and immense value of TFCAs in SADC, reflecting on the conservation's impact on regional cooperation and sustainable development. Shall we please have that video? Thank you.
years, Trans-Frontier Conservation Areas, or TFCAs, have come to represent a visionary and deeply inspiring approach to conservation and development in Southern Africa. These breathtaking cross-border protected areas were established in recognition that the vast, untamed natural resources spanning national boundaries are precious, shared treasures, rich in biodiversity and teeming with life, whose survival holds profound significance for both the ecological health of our planet and the socio-economic well-being of rural communities.
There is still a need for us to make sure that we establish more TFCAs in order for our local people to benefit. With the member states committed to the regional integration on TFCAs, this will drive TFCA to grow more within the SADC region.
The robust legal and institutional framework for TFCAs is grounded in several pioneering regional agreements, including the 1999 SADC Protocol on Wildlife Conservation and Law Enforcement, which champions the promotion of conservation of shared wildlife resources through the establishment of TFCAs.
We are gathered here today to celebrate and witness a historic moment in our collaboration for the conservation of our shared natural and cultural heritage.
The 2023 to 2033 SADC program for TFCAs further reaffirms the commitment to nurture these landscapes as practical examples for regional integration, while steadfastly advancing the dignity, resilience, and prosperity of local communities.
For the groups that have come, for the children that have accompanied us, it is a beauty to see you. For what we discuss here is your heritage.
Today, 13 awe-inspiring TFCAs stretch across the SADC region, safeguarding an astonishing diversity of transboundary landscapes and seascapes. Their structures range from the elegantly simple Trans-Frontier parks, like the iconic Kgalagadi Trans-Frontier Park, to vast, intricate mosaics of protected areas, communal lands, and private concessions, exemplified by the magnificent Kavango Zambezi TFCA, a living testament to nature's grandeur and complexity.
Achieving coexistence in these complex landscapes we call TFCAs, you need coordination, collaboration, and understanding. I came to realize how intricately connected the culture of the people can be linked to a river system. People depend on the fisheries, people depend on the flooding pattern for their transportation, for their farming. It's also important for the wildlife habitats.
The management authorities had quite long protocols, and we saw quite a number of illegal activities taking place unchecked. We have structures that provide for joint sensitization of the communities living along the borderline. Now, officers can just cross the boundaries, do the work.
Malawi and Zambia, we work as one. So in one camp, there are two countries.
It's something that we're really proud of. So it's a very exciting thing to be in a landscape that can be, collaboratively managed, as it's the case of the Malawi-Zambia TFCA.
The SADC Tourism Program 2020 to 2030 offers a bold and comprehensive roadmap for the sustainable development of tourism that celebrates rather than exploits the natural world.
I have great respect for the Orange River. It seems quite sometimes, but there's places where it is quite deep. It is very important for South Africa and Namibia to work together, especially with our trips, with our kayaking trips. One night we sleep on the South African side, the other night on the Namibian side, just for the clients to experience the collaboration of two countries and to be in both countries at once.
If we make it easy for people to move freely, then we are guaranteed of more business. We are guaranteed of bettering our economy. I think the people, when they see the falls for the first time, they feel like they are in some very special place. And indeed, they are at a special place.
Across Southern Africa, TFCAs are proving that borders don't have to divide nature and people, But the creation of TFCAs is not without its challenges. However, through incredible collaborative efforts, we have turned these into immense successes. The Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park, straddling Botswana and South Africa, became the world's first transfrontier park in 1999, with seamless movement of tourists within the landscape. It set the stage for others to follow, boosting wildlife movement and tourism across national boundaries. Lubombo TFCA, shared between Eswatini, Mozambique and South Africa, includes the first marine TFCA in Africa. These marine protected areas within TFCAs play a vital role in conserving ocean biodiversity and supporting the livelihoods of coastal communities. In the Great Limpopo TFCA, stretching across Mozambique, South Africa and Zimbabwe, elephant migration routes have been restored, and efforts to ease tourist border crossings are gaining traction. The Kavango Zambezi TFCA, the world's largest terrestrial TFCA with the largest contiguous population of elephants. The Univisa allows easier access for travel, and a new birding route is drawing eco-tourists from around the globe. Between Namibia and South Africa, the Richtersveld TFCA celebrates desert biodiversity and indigenous heritage with a new botanical garden that opened in 2024. The Greater Mapungubwe TFCA, shared by Botswana, Zimbabwe and South Africa, safeguards critical wildlife corridors and protects one of the richest archaeological landscapes in Africa. The Maloti Drakensberg TFCA, shared between Lesotho and South Africa, with its cross-border mountain heritage attracting adventure tourists from across the globe. Up the coast, the Iola Skeleton Coast TFCA linking Angola and Namibia is seeing signs of ecological recovery. Niassa Salu TFCA, shared between Tanzania and Mozambique, is the second largest in the SADC region, protecting the largest contiguous populations of lion and wild dog. And the momentum continues. New treaties are paving the way for future conservation linkages, like the Lower Zambezi Mana Pools and Zimoza TFCAs signed between 2023 and 2024. The SADC TFCAs, together with their long-standing partners, continue to stand as beacons of hope for international cooperation, conservation excellence, and community empowerment. Yet the survival of these wild sanctuaries is not guaranteed. They remain under constant threat from climate change, human encroachment, and short-term economic pressures. Protecting these irreplaceable landscapes, where the earth still breathes with ancient rhythms and wilderness reigns, is a race against time, a call to cherish the natural heritage that sustains all life. Together, we celebrate progress and look forward to safeguarding Southern Africa's natural heritage for future generations to come.
Thank you for that video. That video is also available on our channels. Shall we please give another celebration applause to all those who are playing a role in making the TFCA thrive. Thank you, and this marks the end of the official opening ceremony. And I just want to make two announcements. We still have the lost but found items. There are actually two now. There's a phone and there's a wallet. If you're missing any of those documents, you just see the team on the equipment there. At this point, we'll now request our invited guests, the members of the media, our ICPs, to be excused and exit the room so that the meeting can now proceed in closed session to consider the documents that will be presented during summit. Thank you very much. We appreciate your presence and we look forward to having you during the official opening ceremony in a few...
Is defined by our natural resources, by our diversity, our flora and fauna. Remarks by the chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers, who is also Zimbabwe's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Professor Amon Murira. Those opening remarks welcoming the delegates to the Council of Ministers meeting, which is here at the inaugural SADC TFCA International Conference and Summit. Day 4 highlights, and as they convene as Council of Ministers, they will be deliberating on those issues with regards these collaborations and these common goals in terms of the preservation as well as the protection of these TFCAs. It is this investment that comes through these TFCAs as well as the empowerment of communities through these TFCAs, and hence why the catalyst that comes with this TFCAs is supposed to be promoted. And while we are looking to the conversations around biodiversity, it is later today where the commemorations will come about for Biodiversity Day, the issues around biodiversity and the frameworks around the biodiversity that these SADC member states are to promote. And as they continue to look forward to 25 years on, what more needs to be done to strengthen those various TFCA frameworks and the protection of this biodiversity. We will also later on have the launch of the Zimbabwe Carbon Market Regulation by His Excellency the President of Zimbabwe, Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa. And with these are critical elements to these conservation issues, these collaborative issues, as well as the promotion of sustainable development. And we also will be speaking to a number of experts, conservationists, as well as environmentalists, so that we understand these frameworks that have been formulated. What more can policymakers do to strengthen these frameworks in order for those communities that are in these TFCA areas to benefit even more? After all, with the chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers, Professor Amon Murira, saying it is these communities that need to benefit. They need to have that equal chance to benefit from these conservation areas. And also with tourism playing a very crucial role in these TFCAs, what more are member states doing on leveraging on that? We will be turning to our Pocket Hill studio where Rumbidzai Chakanza is on standby, and we will continue to also engage you. It's day 4, the inaugural SADC TFCA International Conference and Summit. It's Pocket Hill studio. Rimbi?
Many thanks to you, Moich, and of course for that update. Indeed, that is the Council of Ministers meeting, and of course opening remarks right there. We heard from His Excellency Elias Magosi, who is the SADC Executive Secretary, talking about how they have managed to preserve rhinos, especially the black rhinos, which is an endangered species, from about 2,000 rhinos that they had about 2 decades ago to more than 6,000 black rhinoceroses that are now available, which means TFCAs are an important part of our daily lives as we get to protect biodiversity, as well as encourage people to work together for the benefit of community. We talk of community existence as well. And of course, opening remarks by Professor Amon Murira, who is the SADC chairperson for Council of Ministers, saying that we should work together hand in hand to make sure there is peace and stability in the SADC region. And also spoke about how now we have to invite private partnerships to also be part of these conversations. And spoke about how we are we are the soil, as the children are also the soil, are part of the soil, they're part of the sun, they're part of the ecology, they're part of the environment, and the environment belongs to us. We have to take care of our environment, and of course foster collaboration, innovation, and embrace technology to make sure that we handle our TFCAs with so much efficiency and integrity. There has to be accountability. These conversations are now in closed door sessions, and later on we will be finding out what they have discussed about. And of course later on, waiting to see His Excellency the President of Zimbabwe, Emmerson Mnangagwa, who is also the SADC chairperson, to launch carbon markets regulations and, of course, commemorating International Biodiversity Day. But for now, we will be taking a break, and we will be coming back later on with further details. From now, we say goodbye.
Welcome to Zimbabwe, the House of Stones. Zimbabwe, a land of great people, a land of wonders. From the thundering smoke of the majestic Victoria Falls to the rolling valleys and mountains of the enchanting Eastern Highlands, the mystical water spirit of the Nyami Nyami in the Kariba, one of the world's largest dams. Welcome to Zimbabwe. Tinokugashirai siyakuyamukela at this great nation full of natural wealth, wildlife and rich soils. Be at home in this great nation of warm, friendly and cultured people. Welcome to Zimbabwe. Tinokugashirai siyakuyamukela. SADC Summit 2024. The power of one, the strength of many.